Tomorrow is the 149th Preakness Stakes with Mystic Dan trying to win the second leg of the Triple Crown. Usually when it comes to big races, such as the Triple Crown, I only focus on one race. But there are a lot of intriguing races in the Preakness Stakes undercard. And one race in particular that I plan to bet is the Dinner Party, which is a Grade 3 turf grass race run right before the Preakness Stakes. When it comes to turf races, I usually look at the pedigree, but lately when it comes to turf races, I look at the trainer. And one particular trainer is Chad Brown. Chad Brown is the top grass trainer in this country. And during Kentucky Derby Day, he had three horses in the Distaff Turf Mile, and I bet I bet an exacta box and trifecta box on all of those three horses trained by Chad Brown, and they came in 1, 2, 3. And one of the horses in the dinner party is Running Bee. Chad Brown also has another horse, which is Adhamo. So, but I noticed that Adhamo's form is not that strong lately, even though he is a Grade 1 winner. So what I plan to do is use Running Bee in my exotics. But the horse that I plan to pick and bet is Balnikhov. And I remember this horse because of the last race he ran, the San Francisco Mile, at which was run at Golden Gate Fields. 3 weeks ago, I handicapped and I posted this race. And for the San Francisco Mile, I got the exacta box and the superfecta box. And the superfecta box included Balnikhov, who finished third. And he won that race last year, but he finished third in the San Francisco Mile this year. At the moment, he's 6-1, and I think that's due to the new jockey, Frankie Dettori, who's been running really hot here in this country. So this is going to be my play of the day. Actually, it's not going to be the Preakness Days, but this is going to be my play of the day. The play of the day is I'm going to use Balnikhov in my across the board bet, which is a win, place, and show. And the reason this is my play is there was a horse named Trickery in the Kentucky Derby day. He ran in the American turf sprint. I said Trickery, right? Yeah, Trickery was actually a horse I remember in February, a race that he ran where he finished second. But during Golden Gate Field, or during the Derby day, I thought about placing betting across the board, and I decided not to because he had won 2 races in synthetic, but he hadn't won really anything on grass at that moment. Even though his sire was Oscar Performance, a strong stallion who does really well in grass, so I decided not to bet him. And boy, did I regret it, because he won the American Turf Sprint at Churchill Downs at odds of 47-1. I mean, if I had just placed a $10 across the board win, place, show bet on Trickery, I would have made a lot of money. So at the moment, Balnikhov is a huge long shot like Trickery, but I do think he'll fluctuate. Even though he's 6-1 right now, I'm kind of shocked that he's 6-1, and I think that's based off because of his jockey Frankie Dettori. But his form lately hasn't been that great. But at 6-1 or 8-1, I'm still gonna bet him across the board. So just in case that he finishes in the top 3. So that's my win bet. Actually, my choice for the dinner party. It's Balnikhov, $10 across the board, win, place, and show, which is $30. So if he finishes in the top 3, you win. And if he finishes first, not only you will win the win bet, but also the place and show bets. The other horse I plan to put in my exotic, and actually Balnikhov, I'm going to use Balnikhov in my exacta for Running Bee, and I'm going to also use him in my trifecta with the number 10 horse, Emmanuel. Emmanuel actually ran third last year at the dinner party. Um, but he's done well in other great three races. So there's a reason why he's the favorite. So, but that's the play I plan to use is those three horses in my exotics for the dinner party, and with Balnikhov as my win uh, place and show bet. Now, with respects to the Preakness Stakes, there are three horses that I'm thinking about betting. Actually, I did actually have played them at the Black Eyed Susans and Preakness Double. I bet today I had four horses in the I chose in the first leg at the Black Eyed Susans and three horses in the Preakness Stakes. And one of the horses that I picked, um, Gunsong, won the Black Eyed Susans today. So I have one half of the Black Eyed Susans Preakness Stakes double. The three horses that I used for this daily double are number three, Catching Freedom, who's when you look at he won the Louisiana Derby, but the Risen Star has shown this year has been actually the strongest Kentucky Derby prep this year because it was won um, by Sierra Leone, who actually finished third. No, who finished second in the Kentucky Derby. Catching Freedom ran fourth, and with the second place Sierra Leone and the third place Forever Young not running in this race, Catching Freedom is one of my choices I plan to maybe use in my exotic. But he was actually one of the three horses I picked at my second leg for the Black Eyed Susan's Preakness Stakes. The second horse that I used in my Preakness Stakes Black Eyed Susan double is Mystic Dan. I'm not going to fool around. Mystic Dan, he has two 100 buyer speed figures. The first one he got was on mud. So I assumed there was no way he was going to win the Kentucky Derby as the track was drying out. But he actually not only did he win the race, he also got 100 buyer speed figures, and it looks like the weather at Baltimore that it might be raining tomorrow. So he has form on both on mud and fast track, and he's the only horse that has, I believe, yeah, he's the only horse to have the 100 buyer speed figures, and he achieved it twice. So I'm not fooling around. This is going to be, if I was going to uh, put a win bet, it would be Mystic Dan. And even though his odds is 5-2, I think it would have been bigger. It would have been larger had Muth was not scratched. Muth I was definitely going to play because of Bob Baffert, who for the last 3 years his horses can't run the Kentucky Derby. But last year he had a horse um, who ran the Preakness and won. So, but Bob Baffert has another horse in the Preakness Stakes, despite the scratch of Muth. And that horse is Imagination. And I'll be honest, I'm very infatuated with horses that were sold at public auction for $1 million. And in this case, he was sold at the Keeneland yearling sale for over $1 million. He's by the number one leading sire into mischief. And with the combination of Frankie Dettori and Bob Baffert, this could be a very strong um, entry in the Preakness. The only concern I have is the Santa Anita Derby, the winner Stronghold, ran terrible in the Kentucky Derby. So that is my concern. Maybe the quality of the Santa Anita Derby wasn't great. However, with his purchase price and his pedigree, I'm willing to use him in my um, in my Black Eyed Susan Preakness Stakes double. Um, but yeah, if I was going to put a win bet, it would be Mystic Dan, and I put it with an exacta with Catching Freedom. So I don't plan to bet a lot on the Preakness Stakes. because normally, actually historically for me, the Preakness Stakes, I haven't made a lot of money in betting this race. So, and since I already used the three horses from this race for my Black Eyed Susans Preakness Daily Double. Those are the only three horses I plan to bet for the Preakness Stakes. So there you go. Those are the two races I plan to bet. As I said, my big play is going to be Balnikhov uh, across the board. Plan to do $10, so that's a $30 bet, and a win bet for Mr. Dan. And I hope Mr. Dan does win um, the Preakness Stakes because I think it would set up a intriguing um, event with the hope of him clinching the Triple Crown, especially with Golden Gate Fields closing. I will be at Golden Gate Fields tomorrow for the Preakness Watch Party, but I also will be at the Golden Gate Fields for the Belmont Watch Party, which will be the day before the very last day at Golden Gate Fields. So if Mystic Dan does win the Preakness, I think it's going to be an exciting time around the country and also at Golden Gate Fields. I think it's going to be it's going to be one last run. I think it's sad that Golden Gate Fields is closing, but yeah, I just hope that Mystic Dan does win. So there you go, and good luck to everybody. Have fun in the Preakness Stakes, and I always leave it with this ending. When it comes to horse racing, you bet small to win big.